and welcome to episode 22 of the Quotes and Mirrors podcast. My TV was up. I got to turn my TV down.
No
I'm
worries.
prepared. I am Tyrell James.
And I am uncommentary. I'm also quite certain of who I am. You, on the other hand, didn't stumble. Just a second. Just a second.
I wear a lot of hats and they all have different names. So
you don't have on a hat right now, so nobody believes you.
damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a metaphor, people. We know you know, but funny always wins, doesn't it? Funny always wins. Nonetheless, welcome to episode 22 of Quotes and Mirrors podcast. So we're going to choose a quote.
Quads and Mirrors. No. That's our gym podcast. Quads and Mirrors.
Got you. Coming soon. Yeah. Well, yes, episode 22, Quotes and Mirrors. So we do here is we're going to grab a quote and we're going to reflect on it. Once again, hence this phrase, quotes and mirrors. What's going on, T? Am I looking strange in the camera?
No, I am. Okay. It looked like my camera was trying to adjust.
Okay, but I see you.
Focus,
I see you clearly. I think they probably see you clearly too.
Okay, all right. Maybe it was me.
No worries.
You gotta just keep going.
Right. All right. This week it was my turn to choose a quote, and I actually had one that I think I said on last week's show, but it was way too long actually. So I was like,
it took me a week to type it out.
It was too long. It was gonna be too many pieces. I was like, and then it wasn't even. I don't know. It didn't really hit me like I needed it to hit me. So I went searching for another quote, and I came across one by Mr. Tupac Shakur. Pretty famous quote of his. I don't even know if he's the first person to say it, but he's the only person I've ever heard anybody reference saying it.
Yeah, I went searching to see if anybody else said it, and I didn't see it.
Okay.
I mean, nobody before him. I couldn't find anybody before him to say it.
Cool. Well, if you don't already know what we're talking about Tupac's famous quote, "Only God can judge me." I'm sure you all heard it before. If you got his album, if you got every album, you heard him say it over and over again.
And y'all done probably said it too.
True enough.
People love telling somebody only God can judge me because they done some mess, some nonsense, or whatever. And
man,
that's their out.
Now, you know what? Now, in reference to this, though, let me ask you. So, what do you think? What are you getting that he's saying when he says only God can judge
me? I think that Pac was. I think there were two sides of Pac, but I believe that the good part of Pac, the greatness in him, is the part that was the biggest part to him, and he knew his heart. He knew that he was genuinely. I believe that Tupac, regardless of any type of controversy, was genuinely a good person, great person.
Okay.
And I believe that that's the part of him that he believed he was as well. So when people try to highlight the other side, some of the other things about him, it was easy for him to react with, look, only God can judge me. Like I know that I'm a good person. So the reason that only God can judge me is because you don't have the information. You don't have all the information the way God does. And also, you also don't have the ability. You don't have the right to judge when you two are imperfect.
Okay. Now, I will say this. I think you brought up a good point when you said that only God has all of the information. I think that is a very important point in reference to judging anybody casting judgment. If you don't know all the details, it's kind of hard for you to give a conclusive response, answer, whatever, when there's things that should be included that you are not privy to.
Right.
So I think that's a very good point. But I will say this: what I got from it was that when he said only God can judge me, what I got is that the only judgment he was going to accept was a judgment that he couldn't argue with. You know what I mean? And so now, given now what you just said may have definitely had a lot to do with his process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because because obviously God has all of the details. But also people definitely reference the scripture. Oh man, I gotta find the exact scripture. But the scripture where it says, judge not lest you be judged.
Condemn
Right?
not, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a conditional give and take situation. So if I'm accepting your judgment, I'm also volunteering mine. You know what I'm saying? But
Hold on.
I just
Say that again. If
if
I'm
I'm
accepting
accepting
their judgment, I'm volunteering mine.
right, if I'm accepting your judgment, or
Uh-huh.
should I say involunteering mine,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm also
Yeah,
opening
I'm accepting
myself
your
up.
judgment. Okay, I
Yeah,
got you.
then I'm opening myself up to you. It don't mean I can't judge. It does mean that if I do,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm now wide open to the fact that you can as well. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you said something. You said about what did you say about perfection?
I said, I'm not pretty much. I'm not about to accept judgment from a bunch of imperfect people. You're imperfect too. You're standing in a glass house with glass all around you. I dare you take a step. All that broken glass around you. I dare you because if you do, if you walk out that house to come judge me, you were going to leave a trail of blood behind you, which tells me that you got your own issues.
No, I agree. I'm famous for saying people that live in glass houses should get dressed in the basement. But so, but if not by imperfect people, right? Because
Mhm.
this is the thing, I guess, in reference to that. And first of all, let me say this: I I don't want to be improperly judged,
Mhm.
but I don't think the only thing that qualifies you for improperly judging me is imperfection. Like I feel like you can see a situation from a perspective that I don't have.
Mhm.
And but if you love me, right, then and maybe we should define judgment. But if you love me, then I feel like you I should be able to trust what it is you have to say concerning me from your perspective, one of love, but also one of external. It's like the difference between, the coach and the player. You know what I mean? The player is not going to see what everybody is doing on the court the same way that the coach will see.
Is that
So,
judging?
huh?
Is that judging though? I'm about to pull up the definition of judge.
Well, but right now we're not talking about the definition of judge. I'm talking about the difference in perspective.
Right. But
And,
what
and
I'm
then,
saying
and
is,
then, go ahead.
so okay, so you're making it more of a, well, go ahead, finish saying what you're saying, because go
Well,
ahead, go ahead. Go finish what you're
so
saying.
what I was saying is just the difference in perspective. First of all, understanding the difference in perspective of an external versus internal situation. And again, you being external, there may be some things that you don't know that I know, but me being internal, there may be some things that I can't see that you can see because I'm too close to it. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And so for you to, and again, I guess I do want to define judge, but in my opinion, for you to have the significant details of a circumstance
Hmm.
could easily give you what's necessary to come to a conclusion, uh, um, a acceptable conclusion. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, did you look up judge?
Yeah. So it says form an opinion or conclusion about.
Okay.
So I feel like that is so vague though. when we're talking about judging somebody, that is so vague.
You know what? You know what I love about that definition is it doesn't speak to negative or positivity. That's what I love about that
Right.
because when you're being celebrated, when you're being rewarded, you're being judged.
Judged. Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody's saying, "Nah, dog, me the champ. Only God can judge me." Nah, you saying, "Give me that and everything that come with it."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I love about that definition. I needed to be not vague but broad. I needed to be that broad so that it doesn't specifically carry a positive or negative connotation, but instead there's space for both. Because
Right.
people also, like you said earlier, people they say this because they know they was wrong. They don't want to accept it,
Mhm.
and you know where I'm at right now. So your ego is saying to you, "Only God can judge me." Your ego
Right.
is saying to you, "I'm not accepting anything that you have to say because you're also not imperfect." Now, that being said, I will say this: I don't appreciate a double standard, right? So don't don't tell me to do something or tell me not to do something that you are also doing, because in my mind, and this might be my ego, I'll give way to that, but in my mind, if you're telling me not to do something that you are doing, then in my mind, it's only wrong when I do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And for
Mhm.
that, come on, man. We can't really talk like that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And I think that's where a lot of the judgment. Oh, incidentally, I want to go back to Tupac for a second, and then I'm gonna come back to the
Mm-hmm.
point I was about to make.
Mm-hmm.
I also think when you ask me what did Pac mean by it, I also think that was directed at judges as well. Him having
Mm.
to stand in front of judges and be judged.
Okay. And
Yeah,
you talking about a literal legal situation.
yeah. I
Okay.
honestly think that it was that was he was directed at them as well. Um the so I think that when we look at it, yeah, no, I agree with you as far as the double standard is concerned. But I think that people also, I think it's also a double standard that is hidden as well. And there's the obvious double standard where you do something, I do the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
but I look at you differently for what you did.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the hidden double standard where you do something wrong, I do something completely different that's wrong, but I judge you for what you did that was wrong. But we can hide
Mm.
we can hide what I did wrong because this ain't about me. This about you.
Well, hold on. Now, is that a double standard?
Yeah, I
Is
still think
that
it's a
because if you're in two separate lanes, right? If we're in two separate lanes, if I didn't do anything wrong in that lane, as a matter of fact, if I did the opposite, if I'm operating correctly in that lane, now I can't speak from complete self righteousness as if I've never made a mistake, right? But but I think I can speak, and I think I would accept um, words from an individual who was operating properly in that lane. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So
but the I don't think the child molester has any room to judge the rapist. It's two different things.
oh, Jesus, I did not think you was gonna go quite that dark. And I'm not going to argue with you on that.
Right. But that's what I mean by they didn't do the exact same thing,
Okay.
but there's still judgment there. But how can you judge when you did something as egregious as child molestation? How can you sit up
Okay.
there and say to somebody, "How dare you rape somebody?"
Okay. Okay. In that particular context, I digress. Yeah. Okay. Now. Yeah. Okay. So I see what you're saying right there, and I got nothing. I got nothing for that. Yeah. I got nothing for that because the both of them could get the cactus. You know what I mean? So okay.
Yeah, and the porcupine.
Okay. I give you that, but I still say that, like what? So what comes after this? Once you've done what you've done, and now you say only God can judge me. Now you're talking about. I think most people are also they're referencing an inevitable situation. They believe in God, thereby they expect that when they die, that God will at that point administer judgment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But until they die, what now? Only God can judge me justifies all of your actions. You know what I mean? What's immediately happening? We understand only God can judge me speaks to an ultimate situation, but
Right.
immediately, what happens? Are you because you ain't seeking God for that judgment? I mean, I'm gonna say typically you ain't seeking God for that judgment because
Mm-hmm.
you still ready. You gonna do you wrong. You're only saying it in defense and not even a justification, but you're saying it in defense of what you did.
Right.
But you still did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So what now? So how are we supposed to deal with that? You supposed to just continue on and do your thing? You know what I mean? It seems
Well,
to me. Go ahead.
no, you can't because the fact of the matter is, listen, Tupac, the greatest of all time, as far as I'm concerned. I love Pac,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not agree with this quote because of the sheer fact that you can say all day long that only God can judge me. Guess what? That ain't the truth. People are going to judge you whether you make this comment or not. You don't have control over whether or not somebody else is going to judge.
And so that actually is why I feel like he said it from the perspective of God's judgment being the only one that he will accept.
Right. And that's actually what I was just about to say.
Okay.
What people are saying is it's only God's judgment that I will accept. I'm not going to accept it from you.
Now,
Yep. So
okay. Only God can judge you, but that bench can sentence you. You know what I mean?
yeah, and after you've been judged.
Yeah, yeah. And I did say bench,
Yeah, he said
BENC,
bench.
bench. but, like I say, I'm just curious for those people, like what happens after that? Do you intend to change? You accepting that God can judge you now? What are you just going to continue to stack incident on top of incident on top of incident and say, well, only God can judge me, and I'm not worried about it until I happen to be in front of God.
That's
You know
what
what
it
I mean?
seems like. That's how I take it because
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people use that as an excuse to remain where they are and to not have to change.
hmm
You know,
So,
and then to say, well, if you judge me, then you're playing God. I feel like it's manipulative as well. You know,
mm,
I gotta trick you out of judging me
hmm
by making you think that you were trying to act as if you were God. You were putting yourself on the same level as God. But
do you have the definition still up?
uh, yeah, hold on.
I'll put it.
Yep. Okay. Form an opinion or conclusion about.
From an opinion or conclusion about.
Yeah, and this is so. Let me see something. Let's see more definitions here. Ah, here we go. More definitions. This is what I wanted to see. So, a person able or qualified to give an opinion on something. Example: she was a good judge of character. A leading
Mm.
a leader having temporary authority in an ancient Israel. Oh, never mind. Judge, third president. Passive, blah, 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 blah. Okay, decide in court, give a verdict, decide the results of a competition. See, they don't, we may need to go to Urban Dictionary and see what they say about
Well, I mean, I see one that says one who gives an authoritative opinion. Now that one is kind of interesting to me
Okay.
because only because essentially we're peer to peer, like you and
Hmm.
I, right?
Hmm.
So what opportunity would there be for either of us to give an authoritative opinion? What do you think about that?
Well, let's look at the definition of authority.
Yep.
Hold on one second, because right now I am looking at the Definition of only God can judge me in the Urban Dictionary, and
And
I'll tell you, I'll tell you what it says later.
oh wow,
Can't even say this on here.
it doesn't represent us well. Is that what's happening?
There's some
Profanity.
inflammatory words, inflammatory, like very um harsh words to describe certain groups of people. So no, I'm
Really?
not. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
But it's Urban Dictionary though, so I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I guess
yeah,
there's definitely some leeway given for that type of
right.
thing. You know what I
All
mean?
right. So authority, the power or right to give orders, make decisions, and enforce obedience. A
Mm.
person or organization having power or control in particular, typically political or administrative sphere. Um, let's see if there are more.
There got to be more because when people say that they're an authority on a particular subject, it's based on their knowledge or expertise, not their position of power.
Or they're just misusing the word. So let's see. The power to influence others, especially because of one's commanding manner or one's recognized knowledge about something.
There we
So,
go. There we go. There we go.
let me see. That won't matter. Okay, yeah. So there we go. That's what we need to be. Hmm.
Okay, so let's get back to why we were even looking at that. A person, one who gives an authoritative opinion. All right. So interesting, because I feel we close enough, right? You and I think we're close enough. Given that definition, I think you have enough knowledge about who I am
Hmm.
to give an opinion that I should listen to,
Hmm.
right? Regardless to whether it actually serves me or not. Well, I won't say serves me or not, because anything that's coming from you is going to be meant to serve me. Regardless, it's going to be said to
Right.
me with my uh, what you say? How you say
Your
it?
best
Yeah,
intentions.
yeah. Like what I mean. So
Best interest.
again,
I'm sorry. Best
yeah,
interest. I
yeah,
was gonna say.
exactly. So that's because I'm kind of getting back to where the only time people say this is when they don't feel like they're being uplifted, when they feel like they're being broken down.
Hmm.
And but it's said with such emphasis. It's said almost it's so aggressive, as if to snatch back the power that they think they somehow relinquished.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it real. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Pop, particularly because he's not here. I can't say to him, Pop, why did you say this? And I'm sure he'd have quite the answer. By the
I'm
way,
sure. I'm sure.
I'm sure he'd have quite the answer. But it just seems like there's a part of it that is ignorant.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, and you just because you just acted and egotistical again, because you're just acting in response to, okay, somehow I gave up the power. Somehow this person believes that they have power enough to say you're this type of person and you're that type of person. And then even still, and they also want you to kind of stop digging in, right? Because like even though, and I think we spoke about this before, even though you might have a cat that might be doing something, he might be involved in criminal activity, but he might have a good heart. Like he might be selling drugs, and then he also might be, giving away turkeys at Thanksgiving,
Hmm.
right? Is that really evidence of a good heart, or is he just kind of trying to develop a little bit of balance?
I think it's having a good heart. I've known enough guys to do that I know. So
Really?
yeah, yeah.
So, what do you call the other side of it?
Well, we got to look at the reason that they were doing it. I know a lot of people who were, um, they were, let's say, without saying the relationship. I know somebody who was homeless. One time we were in the car. I was
Mhm.
driving, and then he pointed over to this sidewalk, and he said, "I remember being 13 years old, being homeless." Said I was over there with all of my stuff right there by myself, homeless at 13 years old. His father was in jail. His mother was strung out on drugs. And
Mhm.
He said, of course, I'm too young to get a job, but I could hustle. I could get out there. I
Mm-hmm.
could sell drugs. He said, I hated every minute of it. So, but I started getting locked up at a young age. I'm in and out of jail. And of course, now I have a record and it's hard for me to find a job.
Mm.
So while I'm still looking for jobs, I still have to eat. I still have to survive. So I'm hungry and I'm doing everything that I have to do to make my money. Now, somebody that
Mm-hmm.
comes from that knows what it feels like to be hungry. And they
Right.
see other people who are in that position and it hurts them. So even though I'm out here selling drugs, I don't want you having to deal with what I had to deal with.
Now that one right there, though. I mean, I I've never been in that position where I had to make that decision.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And truth be told, I pray for cats that have ever or will be in a position to have to make that decision. Um, and also, I guess if you're talking about the softer side of things, if you selling weed, that's a little bit different.
He wasn't
But
selling weed.
well, I didn't assume so. You know what I mean? But if you selling a harder situation, crack, heroin, cocaine, whatever. If you selling a harder situation, and essentially you're trading a life for a life, kind of, right? Because in order for you to save yours, you got to contribute to the death of, or to the possible, very possible. Matter of fact, I may even say the probable death of another. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that is I mean, I don't want to say voluntarily because your circumstances push you in that direction. But I don't know. I just there's something about that that just doesn't sit well. And maybe you have to be in the circumstance. Maybe I have to be where the hunger pains or the fear of just not knowing where my next meal from going to come from, or if my next breath is going to be my last because I'm outside and I'm cold, and that type of thing. I guess you kind of have to be in that situation, but
And remember, I
uh,
said he was 13.
no,
We're
right,
talking
right,
about a 13-year-old
right.
that doesn't, see things the way we see them at this age. E- Even at this age, though, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm in a position where I have nothing, and let's say, and I'm trying, because I remember watching him go in and come home. I used to take him to go drop off applications, and he was just applying to all these different places. As he was waiting to
Hmm.
he would, never get responses back. And as he was waiting, he go back to hustling. He would try. He would try
Right.
not to do it. As a matter of fact, I remember a couple of times he would get out of the neighborhood that he was in
Hmm. Hmm.
just so he wouldn't be around it. He would go stay with somebody else, but that would only last so long before they were like, all right, man, you got to get out of here, because he wasn't contributing, but he was trying to find jobs or whatever. And then he would end up right back in the same situation. So, you know, for me, if I'm that desperate, if I'm in a position, and let's say I have a child too, and my child is hungry right now, I don't
Hmm.
have time to put in an application and wait for a job, and then,
Right.
well, wait for them to call me, and then wait for the interview, and then wait for the hire date, and then even after I've started working, now I gotta wait to get paid and
Hmm.
then feed my child. No, my child's gonna be gone by then. I can't do that. So I can't tell you what I won't do. I ain't never
Now,
sold drugs a day in my life, but if I'm in that position, I can't tell you what I won't do.
I mean, so I see that and I hear that, right? And I guess I can't tell you what I wouldn't do either specifically for my child, but I have to shed some light on the fact that that has not been the only option for everybody, right? And so I'm just looking at, when you got cats from the hood. I ain't never been. I ain't never been I ain't never lived in the hood like that for real. You know what I mean?
I
Like
know what you
for,
miss. No,
for
no, it's fun times.
I've never lived in the hood for real, bona fide hood for real. Like, as a kid, I mean, as an adult, I've lived in some low income areas,
Mm-hmm.
but not really like hood, like not really hard times hood. You know what I mean? I
And,
haven't
and,
been
and
there.
to make things clear, I only lived in the hood for like a year and a half when I was in Baltimore. But
Well, well,
outside of
you know.
that, I only hung out in the hood. I chose to go to the hood because it's fun times. Fun times. No, seriously, I love it. So
Look, look, I ain't gonna front from what I know and what I seen. I'm gonna need a chaperone. I ain't even gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? Because I don't know the rules.
right.
I'm gonna say something I ain't got no business saying to the wrong person for what I believe to be the right reason, and I'm gonna suffer the wrath. And then what I'm gonna do? Ball up and say only God can judge me. Nah, they gonna
Yeah,
administer
but
judgment.
we can shoot you.
You talking about only God can judge me? Give me a minute. I'm sending you on. I'm sending you to him. You know what I mean?
You're gonna find out real
You
soon.
know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, click request granted. All right, my bad.
And then God standing in front of you like he was right.
Yeah,
Welcome home.
right. You know what I mean? So but I never been in the circumstance, so I don't know what it could be, and I don't want to judge, but I feel like at the same time, like, is there a place for judgment? Let me ask that, and that's why I was starting with the fact that I know that anything that you have to say to me
Mm-hmm.
is going to be out of love. It's going to be, for the most part, well informed. I mean, you're not going to know absolutely everything because everything ain't my business to tell. I'm a married man. You know what I mean? But um, I still trust you.
Right.
I trust So is there an acceptable space or an acceptable circumstance where judgment is can easily apply?
I think that there are levels to judging. So yes and no. To
Okay.
answer your question, I think
Mm-hmm.
that you can judge a situation and then, like you were saying earlier, what happens after you judge it. So
Mm-hmm.
I can judge a situation, and then based off of me judging that situation, all right, what is what's going to be my next course of action?
Okay.
Um, if I completely hypothetical, completely hypothetical.
Oh my goodness, where you ring at? Where you ring at?
Yeah, you already
All
know where
right.
I'm going. So if you were to cheat on your wife,
No,
again,
we're not doing
completely
that.
hypothetical. Okay.
First of all, okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. First of all, we do not have to use me. All right.
If
So,
one,
no,
if
no, no, no,
one
no.
were
Wait, I'm
to
not
cheat,
finished. I said first of all. So first of all, we do not have to use me. Second of all, if you play this back, you just said if you cheat on your wife again, that's the
I
way.
didn't say again.
Yes, you did but you were saying your complete statement was if you cheat on your wife again, we're talking
Oh,
about completely hypothetical,
oh,
right?
okay.
But but the way you put that with potential sound bite together,
My bad.
you know what I mean? So I'm like, hold on a second, let's pump the brakes. Since we're speaking hypothetical, let's speak about hypothetical individuals as well. All right. No, sir. It's not playing with that. All right.
All right. So if
But no. Okay, hold on. But that's you were relating it to our relationship, though, weren't you?
right, exactly. Yeah, I was.
Okay.
I was.
In that case,
So
all right. Completely hypothetical.
hypothetical. Okay.
Go.
So
Go.
if you were to cheat on your wife
Mm,
and I was to do the same, I was to cheat on my wife,
mm,
and then you tell me, look, I cheated. And I'm like, Man, that was you shouldn't have done that. That was
Mm-hmm.
bad. And then you like, well, you cheated too. I shouldn't have done it either.
Right.
So at that point, like I said, it's different levels to cheating. I mean to judgment, right? So it's different levels to cheating too. But this
I don't know any of those. I don't know what you're talking about.
me neither.
No.
Um so um but what I've done is I have judged based off of the definition of judge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have looked at both of our situations and I've judged that I've come to the conclusion that what we both did was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I judged. After that, what happens? Do I
Mm-hmm.
say to you, you ought to be ashamed of yourself? Do I try to tear you down for what you did? See, now that's where the judgment comes in. That's when you get
Okay.
judgy, and because I have no room to judge you, I have room to judge the situations and to
Okay.
come to
Now.
a conclusion based off of my judgment of the situations. I have no room to judge you.
Okay. Now. But if you didn't cheat, if it was just me,
But
right?
this is still me we're talking about. Like, I don't judge people. I did two people I judge: rapists, child molesters. I don't
Okay.
judge anybody
No, I got it. I get you. I got a bag of gavels for them cats too, right?
else.
But
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, if you didn't, and it was just me,
And some
right?
other people I judge. My bad. But go ahead though. Go ahead.
If you didn't, and it was just me,
Mhm.
right? Um. So if not judge? What would you call it? How would you acknowledge? That, like, because I think it's something that would need to be like between, like, for you and I. If it was you, if I was aware, like if I saw you, right,
Mhm.
then I don't need to confront and make a scene at that point. But the next time I holler, I'm be like, yo, what the hell is going on? You know what I
But
mean?
see, but see that I don't see that as judging. That's addressing it.
Well, no, I would. Okay, I mean, I would address it because I love you, right? But if you just you know a cat, let me say that. Let me say we don't have the same relationship, and I just know a cat, and I see him, and I see, yeah, yeah, he's obviously out with a woman that's not his wife,
Mhm.
right? Then I ain't gonna front. I don't think I ain't got nothing to do with the cat because because I just don't appreciate. I don't appreciate the lie. I don't appreciate the deceit. Even though you haven't, it wasn't me directly. Anybody knows who I am, knows that marriage and fatherhood mean the most to me, right? So I ain't gonna lie. Instinctively, I'm gonna judge when you step outside of the situation. I'm like, jackass. You know what I mean? You know.
And I'm not going to judge them. Like I'm like, it ain't my business. It ain't
Not.
my business. It ain't my place to judge. But when I do, if I were to judge, now I'm being put into a position where I could be seen as a hypocrite. Now, not because
Okay.
I'm cheating now, but because I
Okay.
cheated in the past. And they're like, well, now that could open up the conversation for me to say, well, I grew from that. I learned from that,
Hmm.
and I don't do it anymore.
Okay.
So I'm never the woman that I'm with now. I'm never going to take her through this stuff, but
Hmm.
because I saw, not only did I see what it did to the women in the past, and I don't want to inflict that type of pain on the woman that I have now. I just don't want to take a chance on losing her either.
Right.
So it's different if I was to, and actually, I forgot where I was going with that because I just had another thought jump into my head. If it were you, I wouldn't be judging you. The way I would come to you, it would be like, yo, you are about to lose an incredible woman.
Right.
You have this beautiful family, and you're about to take a chance on losing this family. Is it really worth it for this side woman? Is it worth it to lose this family, to lose your wife, your backbone? I know what she means to you. I know. I of course, like you said earlier, I don't know everything because, of course,
Mhm.
you're a married man. Everything ain't
Right,
everybody's business.
right, right.
What I do know is that you're happy. What
Yeah,
I do know is that this is all you want.
right.
So it's all you want for the rest of your life, and you're taking a chance on losing that. So if I present it to you in that manner, I'm not judging you. I'm
What if I
just
say mind your business?
business is minded.
You're not judging me at that point?
No,
What?
no, because the thing is this: that's your decision. If
No, I
you
get it.
want,
I get it. But I'm saying, are
if
we
you
hanging
want to
out
make
after
that
that?
decision, huh?
Are we hanging out? That don't change the dynamic of our relationship.
Oh no, not at all. Absolutely not.
Word?
No, you ain't
What?
cheating on me.
No, I wouldn't have to be cheating on you, but I mean, part of our relationship, a large part of our relationship, is based on who you are and how I relate and how I respect you for who you are and how I love you for who you are, and then to find out that that's who you are, because I ain't gonna front. For in my mind, first of all, the cheating is not really. You said when you were saying there are levels to cheating, I was thinking there's a big difference between cheating on your girlfriend and cheating on your wife.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
that's what I meant by levels too.
yeah, that's why I referenced that.
Yeah.
Big
Mhm.
difference there. So if you run around on Shorty Rock that's not your wife, in my mind, you haven't made a decision yet, really, to be with this woman. So obviously, I still think there's a more mature way to explore your choices, right?
Mhm.
But it's not the same situation. But when it comes to marriage, and you done made a decision now, and you're married now, and for some reason you still think it's okay to maintain a side piece, ah, yeah, there's now the dynamic has changed. We can probably still deal, but like I'm not interested in doing all of the same things. Like we go out, for drinks or whatever. You in there checking, you got a whole nother idea on your mind, and I don't want to be a part of that.
I get it, but I mean, at the same time, that's my life. Like, so, like, if you were to be out there cheating and doing whatever, like, that's your decision. Like, if you take a chance of losing your family, then you have to deal with that pain. You have to deal with that loss. I can now. I may have to deal with it in a secondhand way because I see that you're hurt.
Hmm.
But even though I see that you're hurt, I also know you did this to yourself. But
Right.
it's not up to me to punish you in any form, even if it comes in the form of, well, I ain't hanging out with you no more, or I'm judging you for this, or I'm treating you differently. That's not up to me to do that because you didn't do anything to me.
True enough, but are you punishing me or are you choosing better for yourself? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be. I don't want to be in a space where this is occurring.
Yeah, but that's I feel as though that's giving too much power to something outside of me. I could be in a room full of cheaters.
Hmm.
I I've hung out with cheaters plenty of times. It doesn't change the way I move.
No,
I'm
true.
still me. So, they can lay up with whomever they lay up with. I'm still going home to my wife.
Hmm.
So, what other people do that doesn't bother me. That's cool.
Okay, and the same thing with somebody that don't take care of their kids.
Well,
Uh oh.
there- there's levels to cheating, and you cheating your kids, man. Like, I mean, that's not.
I'm saying, because to me, now I get, it's not the exact same situation. It's not the
Right,
exact
right,
same
right.
situation. But if I know a cat is cheating on his wife, or I know the cat that ain't taking care of his kids, real rap. I can't trust you with anything that I value because you don't value what you have that is your own. I can't trust you with anything that I value. I'm not gonna sit and talk to you about kids and how raising kids is this and that when you ain't even present for your son and your daughter. I can't talk to you about the I will let me say I can't enjoy an exchange of the love of marriage, the love of commitment, the joy of commitment, the joy of see. At this point, right now, we don't even have to talk about discipline. It does not take a conscious discipline for either of us not to cheat on our wives. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's how elated we are with the with the circumstance.
Right.
I want to be surrounded by cats that I can be that free with. I remember just before I got married. Oh man, I can't remember the cat's name. Oh man, but it was a cat that I used to work with at Verizon, and he was like, "How long before how long you think you're gonna be married before you go ahead and get you a side piece?" I just walked off. I haven't spoke to that cat since. I'm dead ass. I just walked off. Are you kidding me? Because at this point, not only are you telling to me, you're devaluing my commitment, you're devaluing my wife, or my soon-to-be wife. You know what I mean? Me and my character. Okay, given to somebody else's other opinion, they might be judging me for taking it too far. Mm-hmm. But these are the things that I love, and if you want to disrespect them, even sideswiping it, even indirectly disrespecting it or devaluing it, nah, homie, you can kick rocks with no socks for blocks and blocks. You know what I mean?
But in a situation like that, I think it's also about how you receive things.
Okay.
I wouldn't receive it that way. For me, it's like you're projecting. You're projecting. So this is you, and the way you live your life doesn't mean that it's going to be the way I live my life. And you're trying to, like you just holding up a mirror. I mean, and you're telling me what you see in your mirror. But that don't mean you see me. You want to see me, you need to look around that mirror. But that's all you're doing is holding up a mirror and telling me what you see. So that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Well, okay, but true enough. Let's say if we take it out of that context. What friend of yours do you have that is more negative than positive?
Yo, I got a couple.
You got a couple that are more negative than positive?
Yeah.
Why? Not why are they more negative than positive? Why are they your friends?
Because of the way I receive things. I don't let that affect me. We can still be cool. Mm-hmm. I'm able to be cool with people, and that's why, if you notice, you've seen my friend group, my circle of friends, and how diverse this group is. Mm-hmm. With people from all walks of life, and there's a whole lot of them that do and say things that I don't agree with. But the thing is this. It's 7.7 billion people on this earth, and I ain't going to agree with none of them 100% of the time. But just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean that I can't be friends with you.
Well, true enough, but I'm not talking about a situation where I just don't agree. I'm talking about where I have to sacrifice somewhat of who I am. I can't be around a negative person just constantly. Oh man, this and that. Oh, I can't do that. That's just me. And
they ain't hang out friends. No, we cool, but I'm not about to go to the bar so you can spew that negativity in my ear. Like, nah, we ain't.
But see, I'm not talking about either you my friend or you my enemy. I'm saying, I don't have any. There's no reason for that. If you're only spewing negativity and you won't hear positivity, what do we have to offer one another? How is it possible for me to push you forward or for you to push me forward? Yeah, I mean, just because that's what I want. I want a situation that's going to push me forward. It's going to elevate my thinking or my movement somehow, right? And so if you're just a constant negative person, and that's essentially what I'm talking about. When you encounter somebody that reveals a moral opposition within themselves, an ethical opposition, or their obviously being now their character is in direct opposition with my values. Their values are in direct opposition with my values. Mm-hmm. I'm I'm judging that person. Essentially, I'm not. I'm just gonna be real. Essentially, I'm judging that person, and the sentence is my absence. And they probably, they don't have to care. That's fine. That doesn't really matter. I'm just saying that, yeah, there's no value add. So why are you here? That's why you get fired. You know what I mean? No, dead ass. You want a job? That's why you get fired. When you get to the point where you don't prove to be any value add, you don't bring anything. You're not learning anything. You're just negative. You were drained in a
Yeah,
space
but I
where
don't
you
see
should
friendship
be.
as
Where
a
you,
job though.
huh?
I don't see friendship as a job though.
Well, if you don't transfer the situation, just the concept. You know what I mean? In any situation in which you can be a drain when you have the opportunity to be a fountain, what I
Hmm.
need you for?
I like the way you circle back to the old quote. That was but I mean, I think I think for me, based off of what you were saying, I want to ask you a question. There was something that you said years ago. I want to know if
Mhm.
you still feel the same. You said something to the effect of, "If you're not adding something to my life, then why are you here?" You remember that?
Um,
You say,
I
"If you're
don't
not
remember the
contributing or adding value or something to my life, then why are you here?"
I don't remember the exact situation, but if it's you know
So, well, for me, it's not. I understand that sometimes a person's existence in my life may not necessarily be for something that they can add to my life. It could be something that I could be adding to their life. So if you see somebody let's go back to the cheating thing, right?
Mhm.
So you cut this person off who's cheating on their wife. Well, you also could be removing the one positive influence that they've had, the one person that could possibly influence them and change their thinking and change their heart, and essentially lead them to becoming a committed person.
Okay,
But
now.
that ain't that ain't your responsibility. I get it. That ain't your responsibility. But for me, judging them based off of what they're doing ain't my responsibility.
It's an option though.
Yeah, but it's an option that I choose not to
Well, I mean,
optionate.
I get it, but I mean, because
For lack of
see,
a real word.
right, because the thing is, for responsibility is something that there's some obligation. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's the option is there, and they not only is the option there, they created the option.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
Hmm. But
um,
because there are options, I have the decision. I have a decision to make. So I can choose which option I want to take.
100%.
So
And for that, I'm not going to judge you. For that, I'm not going to judge you. But um, and I say judge like I don't mean necessarily that I'm going to put any energy into holding you in a certain space. But when you pop up, you're going to remind me of the reason that you haven't popped up in so
mhm.
long. And at that point, I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? I'm not. It's not my thing. So, just because it's too much, I don't know if I have to get past what I have to lose by through this association or through this relationship, if I have to get past that in order to get what I have to gain, I ain't gonna front. I'm struggling, and even though, like you were saying, I had said earlier, if you're not adding to my life, then why are you here? If there is an opportunity for me to uplift you, right, then that's still adding to my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
agree.
when I say that, I do say that in a very absolute. frame of mind. If all you're doing is taking from me, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What's the
Mm-hmm.
point? And so, and by that, you can say only God
What
can
are they
judge me.
taking from you, though?
Uh-oh. Sorry about that. Say it again.
What are they taking from you?
At this point, so in that particular scenario, it's an intangible, obviously, but I have to. I don't know. They're taking some level of positivity away. You know what I mean? Or
I feel
go
like
ahead.
that's giving them too much power.
Um, I
Like
knew
you
you were
don't
going to say that.
like
Yeah.
you don't have that much power over me that you get to take my positivity from me just because you cheating on your wife. Like,
Nope.
nah.
But
If
I'm
anything,
just saying.
you making me look real good. I go home, hey baby, guess who's cheating and I'm not. you
Look
know,
now
although
that.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, but
But that being said, I'm not interested in being a diamond amongst rocks. I'm interested in being a diamond amongst diamonds.
that's cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
get that was real cute too. I got you.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. Nope.
Not you.
Nope.
You ain't cute. You ain't
No.
cute. What you
No.
said?
We're not going to use the word cute. So you can't say cute. Okay. You can't say snuggle. I don't want you to use the word batch when you talking to me. Okay. There's a couple of them I just can't take. That's it. I just can't take. But no, but I ain't gonna front. It may be something that I need to work on. All right, I'll be honest about that. It may be something that I need to work on, but it's it's kind of hard for me to forget that. It's kind of hard for me to set that to the side, and I can
Hey,
do
hey,
it.
hey, hold on, my bad. Before you go any further, I want to finish what I was about to say.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
you do want to be a diamond amongst diamonds,
Right.
but the fact of the matter is, if you're going to continue living your life, you're going to end up around rocks.
I mean,
So it's okay to continue to be that same diamond amongst rocks, but you don't have to. If you're going to be a diamond, it's very, very obvious. If you put a diamond in a bunch in a pile of rocks, it's very obvious that that
mhm.
diamond is a diamond
True.
and those rocks are rocks. So I don't have to, as a diamond, sit up here and tell them you should be a diamond like me and you should be a diamond like me. No, I'm just going to continue being me.
Well, but I'm not telling you that you should be like me.
Well, if you feel a way about them because they're cheating, then and you're not cheating, then you're essentially telling them, well, you should be doing what I'm doing or not doing what I'm not doing.
No, because to call wrong wrong doesn't mean it makes me right. Wrong is
Right.
wrong all by itself.
Right. But that's judging the situation. I'm talking about judging the person. See, it's a difference when we go from judging the situation to judging when we go from judging the action to judging the person. I think that's where things get a little misconstrued.
I mean, okay. I think that's also a conditional situation because if somebody sends somebody to smack you, once
Hmm.
they smack you, you're
Hmm.
not looking for just the person that sent them. That person that smacked you is getting dealt with too.
Right.
You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. When it's that closely integrated, when essentially the person, the individual is the issue.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
and that's a decision. That's a decision for you to make. Really, you know what I mean? That is a decision for you to make. Where, um, because in some situations you do have to address the issue versus the individual. When you address the individual, you're just looking for some place to place blame.
Right.
right? In a lot of situations, you just look for some place to place blame. And okay, cool. All right, say I did it. Now let's address what actually happened, because it was wrong before I did it. It's wrong whoever did it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why the issue needs to be addressed instead of just the individual. You know what I mean?
But if you send somebody to smack somebody else, that ain't my business. That's the parallel there, because we're talking about somebody cheating on somebody else doing something to somebody else, not somebody doing
Mhm.
something to me.
Well, true, but I still ain't dealing with you because this is who you are.
Oh,
This is who
you're
you
saying
are.
you're not going to deal with the person because this is who they are?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you only want to be around people who are just like you?
You misunderstand what I'm saying. I don't need you to be like me. You're not just like me.
Hmm. Okay. You want
I'm not
people,
just like you.
right? But you want people that have the same moral compass as you. Is that better? That better way
Moral
to put it?
who?
Moral compass.
Oh, I guess you don't have to have the same moral compass. It just can't be broken. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to value all that I value.
Hmm.
You don't have to prioritize things the way that I would prioritize them. But when if you don't value it, then it is. It's I ain't gonna front. It's difficult for me because I am those things that I value, and so I look at you as being the same. Now, again, given I will leave some space for the fact that I might need to be checked. I might need to do some internal inventory, you know, with that current mindset. I'll leave some space for that. But you got to fight me for it.
Now, I'll say this. I understand. I'm with being aware of what certain people are capable of, and then having to judge whether or not it is a good idea to be in their company. Let's say you have
Hmm.
somebody who is prone to just getting in fights, and they're always the one starting it.
Hmm.
Cool. I'm not necessarily going to judge you, but I ain't going to hang out with you because I know it's going to affect me.
Yeah.
But I think that that's a different situation if we're talking about somebody that's cheating, because
Okay.
me
Well,
you
tell me.
being out and then you cheating on your wife, that has nothing to do with me. I'm not affected by that. If you get in a fight with somebody when I'm there, then I'm probably in the fight too.
Why?
Well, you said why?
Why?
Well, if in the event this person that you started this fight with has people with them, and they see me with you, and they just automatically assume that I'm going to jump into the fight, and then it's brought to me, now I'm part of it.
True, but you're making it
Or
conditional still.
or if this person decides they want to pull out a gun and start shooting, I could get hit too.
True.
So in that situation, nah, wait, we can't hang out together. But if all you doing is cheating, then that ain't got nothing to do with me.
I'm saying if you out and you doing your thing, like say, okay, so this is an extreme situation. All right,
Okay.
this is an extreme situation. Let's say your wife don't know dude's wife,
Okay.
right? Say you got a friend that's your friend. Your wife not don't know him too well or whatever, but he decide he want to go on a double date.
Okay.
Are you going on a double date with him and his side piece? With you and your
No.
wife and him and his? Why not? That ain't your business.
Well, for one thing, my wife ain't gonna let me.
No, but your wife don't. Your wife ain't got to know none of that.
Yeah, but see, the thing is this though, okay? Because we talking about cheaters, okay?
You're right,
So
right, right.
first of all, I ain't got no friend that's dumb enough to say, hey, bring your wife with me and my side piece as we go out on a date. Because at that point, what has to happen is my wife has to get the information. She
Has to
has
get
to.
what information?
She has to know that this is the side piece because it's a good chance that we're gonna be around him and his wife, and she can't say anything about that. So
So, but now
that
his cheating.
situation, that ain't gonna happen.
But the cheating now, it ain't just all about him and what he doing, is it?
No, but we ain't even a part of that situation because we ain't gonna be in that situation.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna be y'all. Over and over again. I'm gonna be y'all.
Yeah, but that's you making the decision. What I'm saying is in the scenario that you brought, he's making the decision not
What
to
I'm
put
saying,
me and her in the same room as him and her.
what I'm saying
He's
is that
making that decision.
there is potential for that scenario
Mm-hmm.
or scenarios the like when you're dealing with a cat whose morals and values are opposing to yours. And so for
Okay.
me, go ahead.
I was about to apologize to Mom and ahead of time, but I ain't got to apologize because she ain't there.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute.
My parents separated when I was 6. Prior to that, my daddy was cheating.
You're not about to get to me to talk about my or my uncle.
I mean, I just should I have now? My daddy passed in 2013, but should I have stopped hanging out with my daddy? Should I have looked at him differently and been like, yeah, I mean, what's up? Especially since it was, of course, the past, because I didn't even know he cheated until I was, older. But was I supposed to find that out and be like, man, yo, you cheated on my mama? Like, I can't hang out with you no more. Like, nah, dog, don't be with you. Like, that's my mama. What you doing, bro? Like, I ain't even calling him daddy no more. Now he's bruh. Like, what's up, daddy, bro? Like,
Okay. Now, but given the same scenario, if they were together and you found out while they were together, you're older. You found out you got to be older. You can still be 6.
okay.
You can still be 6. When you walk in the room, and shorty that come from under the sheets ain't your mama.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got no issue. You ain't gonna have no issue. You ain't about to
Yeah.
lie to me.
I mean, at 6, I'm probably gonna run and start. Stop it, daddy! Stop it! That's not mommy. Why are you wrestling with? Because of course I don't know what sex is at 6. So why are you wrestling with this lady? So
Look, well, once
I
you
mean,
do learn what sex is, once you get to the first time you had sex, which was 13, 14.
no, I was like 38.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, if we're just gonna lie, we ain't got to talk about it. Because once you did find out what it was, you're not gonna open the door, see what it is, and then slowly creep back and shut the door. Nah, you're
I
not,
may,
because
I may.
Jesus. Well, hold on. So that you can go do what? So that you can go do what?
No, I may close the door hard enough for him to hear that I closed this door, and that tells you, we've been caught. Let me stop, and then I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna sit down there and I'm gonna wait. Hey, daddy, what's up, man? Why are you doing this to mom? So yeah, I am going to address it,
You gonna
but
judge him?
I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to. I see.
So
I'm
okay. So let me do this
my
then. Let me
mom.
ask this question. Is there a legitimate reason? Is there a good reason he can give you for that?
No,
Any?
absolutely not.
Then you
Absolutely
judging him.
not.
Then you judging him
But
based on it.
but I'm also not going to do or say anything that is going to interfere with the relationship that I have with my father. He is still like, even though what he did to my mama, yes, that hurts me, but I can't overlook the fact that he is the father that he is to me. So I'm not going to do anything about that. But yes, but daddy, I'm gonna let you know that hurt me. What you did to mommy, that hurt me. That hurt me.
Yeah. See,
But
that's.
I'm not going to judge you. And I ain't gonna stop hanging out with him too. We gonna still go play miniature golf. We still going to the movies.
It's. I
All the
mean,
stuff.
it would take some time for him to change his behavior. I'm speaking about my own father, and my father walks on water as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? But
Jesus
to
was
find.
not that short.
Huh?
Jesus was not that short.
First of all, you don't know how tall Jesus was. Okay,
Jesus could not have been that short. Not Jesus.
we don't
not
know
G.
how tall
Not
Jesus.
JC. Nah, not big JC. Ain't no way. Jesus
We
had
don't.
to be like
We
5'10",
don't. We
at
don't know
least
how tall
5'10".
Jesus was. And you know what? And Jesus could have been fat. They always got him on the cross with abs and carrying on. You know what I'm saying? He could have been fat. I mean, you assume he wasn't fat because he was walking on water. But I'm saying
And gluttony is a sin.
this is true. He could have had a thyroid problem though. Then he wouldn't have been perfect though. He wouldn't have been perfect then.
Right, exactly. See?
Yeah. So anyway, what I'm saying is that what I'm saying is yeah, I would definitely that's gonna change the dynamic. For me, that's gonna change. Now it may not be a permanent change, right?
Mhm.
Time heals all things. I agree that to time heals all wounds. You know what I mean?
I don't believe that.
Because
Go ahead. I
well,
think it
because
makes
if
it better.
you
I don't think it heals it, but go ahead.
well, I mean, essentially that I mean, because obviously there's levels to everything to include healing. So you may not get to 100%,
Right.
but you're not still dealing with the same pain from the initial blow.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but initially, yeah, I'm gonna have a problem with that, dude. Especially if it's in the moment. Like,
But I'm gonna have a problem with it too. I'm not saying I'm not gonna have a problem with it. I'm just saying
no,
I'm not
what
gonna
I'm saying
do it
is
well.
I'm not just going to address it. Like now I'm thinking about who you are and how how you doing things, period. You know what I mean? Like,
But I think that's a bit of an extremist way of looking at it because I can't look at you cheating and then just assume that you about to just be out here just wilding out, just doing a whole bunch of other things. I mean, maybe that's your thing. Not saying that like, oh, cheating is my thing. I'm talking about maybe that's your weakness. We all have weaknesses. So maybe your weakness is women. But your weakness doesn't necessarily have to be anywhere else. It could just be women. So it's not up to me to start assuming that you're lacking in all of these other parts of your life just because you're doing this one particular thing.
okay, but I don't have to assume it. But I do have to now make space for the fact that I don't know because
Yeah,
I
but
thought
that could
I
be
knew.
across the board. That's anybody.
But no, it's not just anybody because I thought I knew. You know what I'm
But you
saying?
don't know.
Huh?
But you don't know.
But I trusted.
Okay. But still, you don't know. You're just trusting. You're just trusting. It's faith,
So,
having faith in the person.
okay,
And
are you?
I get you. I get it. They broke the faith. I get that.
Mhm.
I get that. But they broke the faith when it came to one thing.
But it's a significant thing. You know what I mean? It's like the whole saying of the straw that broke the camel's back. Every previous straw, if you would have just hit him with that last one, it wouldn't have mattered because it was just that straw. You know what I mean? But that last one for that camel to be able to carry 599 pounds, but can't carry 600. And I dropped that last straw to hit 600, and now he buckled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's
So
that's on that camel. That's on that camel and that straw. Especially for that stupid camel to sit there and let people keep putting straws on his back. Why didn't you walk away, stupid? I mean, I understand y'all can only move so fast. How fast can a camel run? Let me see something.
you have a inconvenient habit of being literal.
Dang, that thing was 40 miles an hour. My bad.
Hold
There
on,
ain't no reason,
a
huh?
camel can run 40 miles an hour.
40 miles an hour. Dog, there is no dog. Camel, there is no reason for you to let people put all these straws on your back. You can leave.
Yeah, but he don't know that the straws are being put on his back until the end. You know what I mean?
I guess
You
so.
know, it's another thing. But what I'm saying is still that to me, that situation when you're dealing with a significant thing, you know what I mean? Because you can't say again, we've been talking about levels the whole time. All right. We've been talking about levels the whole time. If If you cheat on my mama in my house, in her bed, I'm questioning who the hell you are. If I come into the kitchen in the middle of the night and you drinking orange juice from the carton, all right, because those are not the same things. You know what I'm saying? Those
Right.
are not the same things. But I do know I don't appreciate that either. No, I mean, and not unless you go throw the carton away after the fact, I don't appreciate that either. You know what I mean? When you will finish it, you just all right, ain't no point in wasting the glass. There's some logic there, I understand. All right. But oh. Oh wow. I got a couple of appointments apparently right at the same time. But at any rate, um, yeah, so as far as only God can judge me, I think that that's a statement that people make in defense. I think that they make it because God's judgment is the only judgment that they're going to accept, primarily because they cannot argue with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? They cannot bark against it. I didn't say it in the beginning, but rest in peace, Tupac. I meant to say that earlier. You know what I mean? Because I do respect the cat as an MC and a rapper, but I do feel like he was. I feel like he was a little bit of a balance because I don't know. I don't know that he necessarily was a contradiction, but he definitely explored both sides.
Right. And
You know
we
what I
also
mean?
have to keep in mind, as smart as he was, as seasoned and experienced as he was in his young age, he did die at 25 years old. So,
Right.
so give him more time in this world and see if he thinks the same. We're still talking
Mm.
about that 25-year-old, 24, 23, however old he
Okay.
was when he
Okay.
was saying this. We have to take that into consideration. So,
I think that's more than fair.
right. Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yep.
Well, cool. This was a good one. Yeah,
It was.
this was
It was.
good.
We
So
went an hour, 16 minutes. Well, I don't think we ever been this long.
we hadn't, but you know what? I hear my doorbell going off. So
Right.
I apologize to the audience, but reality is reality, right?
Yeah. Don't judge him. Don't judge him,
Yeah, you
right?
know what I'm saying? So let me just go ahead and say quickly, I am my commentary.
And I'm Tyrell James. And on that note, and I quote, peace out.
Peace.